Hey everybody, this is Brock Malinowski. I'm one of the owners here at Hickson Malinowski Insurance Agency, and this is going to be the first video that we're putting out. We're going to try to send a couple of these videos every month just to answer some of the most common questions that we get asked here at the office. Insurance is super confusing, as I'm sure you'll know if you look through your 100-page policy packet that you probably have at home. There's probably a lot of stuff that if you read through that you'd have questions on, and we just kind of want to cover all of our bases. Make sure that we're giving you those answers and at least enough information that you know what questions to ask if something comes up or something applies to you. So the first thing that we really wanted to touch base on is something that we run into pretty much every month here in the office, and that is unfortunately theft of jewelry. So as we know, jewelry is some of our most expensive possessions that we have in our home, and insurance does a good job of protecting them, but you have to make sure that you have your policy set up appropriately to protect it. So if you just have a general policy, like if you just come in and you're in a hurry and say, hey, I need a homeowner's insurance policy written on this, just get it done and we'll talk about it down the line type of thing, you're going to be set up with a policy that covers your jewelry for probably about $2,500. So that's called a special limit of liability. So since jewelry is such an expensive possession, and since a lot of times with theft, it's really hard to prove, exactly that it was stolen, insurance companies set these special limits of liability just saying, hey, if you were to have, damage to this category of items, we're going to maximize the potential payout at this amount, which is $2,500 generally, which obviously we can raise or lower that, well, not lower, but we can raise that amount. So if you were to have a total loss of all the jewelry in your home, somebody came in and stole $40,000 worth of jewelry, and you call me and say, hey, I know I was in a hurry when I started that policy, but I just had $40,000 of jewelry stolen. We never really got a chance to talk about it. I'm going to say, you're probably not going to like what I have to tell you, but you're probably only going to get $2,500 for all the value of that jewelry. So it's really important that you know what is and isn't covered with that. So if you want to totally protect yourself, if you're somebody that has $40,000 worth of jewelry sitting at home, I really recommend that you talk to us about what's called an inland marine policy. You may have heard them called a jewelry floater. But basically what that is you go ahead, get your jewelry appraised. We generally need appraisals in the last couple of years, but you go ahead, get that jewelry appraised, send us a copy of that, send us some pictures of the jewelry, or we'll get the pictures ourselves. And we'll go ahead and get you a policy written that says, God forbid something happens to this jewelry, that Bob has. We're going to give him the full appraised value of that jewelry back. So that way you're making sure that everything is totally covered, or we're going to get the jewelry replaced for you, basically. So, if you have that jewelry, give us a call so that we can talk about that inland marine policy. As I mentioned, that maximum is $2,500, but we can raise that up. So that would be more for somebody that maybe has a couple pieces, maybe nothing on that super high end, nothing that's over $10,000 or anything like that. But they say, hey, I think I should have a little more than $2,500, but I'm not sure I really need to actually get an appraisal and schedule my jewelry separately. We can raise that jewelry value up a little bit for you. But like I said, if you're somebody that has lots of jewelry, or you have lots of anything, anybody that has lots of anything should give us a call about this, because jewelry is not the only category. Jewelry pretty much captures 95% of what we run into with these special limits of liability. But there's also special limits of liability for things like guns. There's also special limits of liability for things like cash. So, we really can't do much about somebody that keeps more cash in the house, but give us a call and we can talk about it and give you some ideas of ways to protect yourself and all that good stuff. So hopefully you found this video valuable. Hopefully if a few people out there are seeing this and like, oh my gosh, I got to give them a call because I just bought this super expensive watch and I didn't realize that it's not completely covered. So I hope that somebody finds some value in this. I hope nobody runs into jewelry theft, but it is something that we do come across on a pretty regular basis here in our office. One more thing I wanted to say about the inland marine policies. When you have those, it includes a coverage for mysterious disappearance, which is a really common cause of loss. So if I'm swimming and all of a sudden my wedding ring pops off and it's gone, on a typical policy, wedding rings popping off and disappearing aren't a covered loss. But if you were to add the inland marine policy, that does cover a new cause of loss called mysterious disappearance. And that is something then that you would be able to get a claim in on. So hopefully, again, you found some value in this. Glad I got that mysterious disappearance piece in there because that's super important. If you need anything, reply to this email. Go to our website at hicksonmalinowski.com. That's HIXSONMALINOWSKI.com. Give us a call. Really, any way that you can get a hold of us. Let us know if you're interested in that inland marine policy or if anything I said in this video stands out to you. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch it today. Thank you.